Center presents Alumni Talks, a series of episodes featuring success stories from our very own trailblazers sharing lessons and experiences to help you jumpstart your career. Tell your story, share your lessons, create your own future.
Good evening, Trailblazers, and welcome to Alumni Talks. This is Grace Raha, and I will be your host for tonight. Today, we are bringing again another episode to feature success stories of our alumni Trailblazers. For tonight's episode, we will be speaking to our two alumni as they share to us their insights and experiences on recognizing job burnout and strategies to improve your relationship with work. So, without further ado, help me welcome Mr. Jonathan Arvin Adolfo. Hello, sir. Kamusta?
Good, I'm good.
Let us start our interview today by sharing to us your journey here in USTP, and I think that was still DMMPSC during your time, if I'm not mistaken.
It's already MPSC, Mindanao Polytechnic State College, and I was in high school during that time. In fact, I have a lot of classmates before already become teachers, like Mr. Jun Quinito also is one of my closest friends before, and is already an instructor here in the university. The journey is quite different because that was way back in high school, and you know, high school teenagers tend to be able to drift a lot away from studies and all. I was just being a kid before, so that was my experience before. Pero the one thing I cannot forget is that I was once part of a soccer team here in the university. Before it was still the State College, when the soccer field was still bare, without any buildings. Right now, it has the university has erected already a couple of buildings there. But before, it was just plainly bare, and we used to play soccer all the time. I was the goalkeeper at that time. So I've got a lot of friends. I've got a lot of good memories in terms of playing. So that was my journey here.
The decision to enroll here in MPSC, or was it your own decision, or was there any factor contributing to that decision?
Well, number one, the college was of high reputation at that time because of the quality students that they produce.
True.
During that time. But I was still coming from a reputable high school also. I mean, not really high school, but elementary, which is, of course, what we call right now as Corpus Christi High School. So I graduated from Corpus Christi, and we decided to look for a school that would balance out my experience. So, of course, coming from a private sector, and so my mom used to say, okay, well, let's try balancing out your experience. So we opted to enroll, tried to take the exam, and luckily I passed. So that was it.
Okay. Can you walk us through your career experience? Where did you start working after graduating, and what you currently do?
That's very unique. I have a very unique experience. When I graduated, immediately I replaced the instructor of the university and taught the same college where I graduated in the first place. So, and then I taught for 2 years, and then after that I moved to another university and taught again for 2 years, and then afterwards I decided to try out and venture out into a different industry away from academia. And so I tested out the waters into the BPO industry So I worked with the BPO industry for about, from that time that I started out in the BPO, it was like around 6 years. And after that, I went straight to work fully in the IT industry from there on until today.
Okay.
So that was, I think, more or less about 19 years of experience.
Thank you. The first job that you had, the teaching job, was it something that you applied for, or was it just offered to you?
It was offered to me because I had this notion that when I actually tried to do all of my subjects, all of my major subjects, I wanted to share what I learned to my classmates, because some of my classmates weren't really catching up all of those learnings that were supposed to be handed over. And so what I did, when I was still in first year, I conducted a first year review class after classes. And so it was my classmates, and I had to review all of the subjects that were taught to us, because it's purely technical. So I conducted just a review class. And then when it was second year, I had second year review class, and then I had first year review classes. And then all by myself, we selected a vacant classroom. We went there and I discussed all of the subjects. And so third year, I had third year, second year, first and fourth year, I had fourth year. So eventually, when it was around fourth year, that there was a teacher that actually resigned because of some personal concerns, and it left that position open. And so the dean saw me already doing
Very
teaching,
active.
conducting several study groups throughout from first year to fourth year, and so they decided to absorb me immediately. So that was
So you had the passion for teaching.
yeah, that was the quick story.
Was it difficult to get into the teaching profession, even if you were not a graduate? I know that, of course, the subject or the lessons that you were teaching was more on technical, but the principles and teaching, was it something that you had to study more than the usual?
I don't think so. When you are really passionate about helping people, it's all about making sure that they understand, and so you communicate that level of clarity, and making sure that the channel that you're using is understandable to whoever you're teaching to. So I guess I cannot say that I had to learn that vocationally. It's sort of spurred out of the passion for me, because it started out that I wanted all of us in the batch to graduate.
Yes.
So that was the driving force that carried over towards who I am, and then towards what my motivation is in teaching our classmates, and to the point that the university came to hire me as. So that was the entire motivation behind all.
I guess that was something that you did not plan
Yeah,
after
I
graduation, because that was very different from your pathway.
That's right.
Looking into your professional experience, sir, you are so active in your professional life, holding managerial positions. How were you able to manage work-life balance?
That's a very tricky question. When you talk about work-life balance, all about balancing the workload that is given to you, and also with balancing your passion for why you're doing it. First place. So I guess I was able to balance it because I love the work that I'm doing, and I find value in the things that I do in order to push and accomplish all of those things that matter. Now, I'm sure there are a lot of challenges along the way, and it's not very realistic to say that you won't have any issues along the way. Definitely you will have, especially in the management position. But you have to find the motivation behind it. And then a lot of us actually have different motivations. So for me, it was more of making sure that we can accomplish what was actually task for me. At the same time, it's because I wanted to see all of these things accomplished. It's all about owning that responsibility and making sure that I own also that role that's given to me. So that's one of the things.
Plus, it's really hard because you would be accountable to whatever is going on in your section or in people that's working with you, right? Our episode for tonight is about job burnout. Now, because of the prevalence of burnout and workplace stress and the profound impact it can have on productivity and health, the World Health Organization expanded their definition of burnout in the 11th edition of the International Classification of Diseases. It's now recognized an occupational phenomenon that occurs when chronic workplace stress has not been successfully managed. Sir, can you share to us a time when you felt burnout at work?
Well, there are a lot of scenarios where I felt burned out, but I was able to handle that with a lot of external factors. So I had to deal with it. I had to talk to my family. I had to talk to my friends. I had to talk to people in church. And there are a lot of ways to go about it. But I think for me, it went deep as to the core that I am as a person. What I'm saying is that I had to reevaluate my values as a human being and what my purpose is. Because if you don't really, if I could not find the purpose that I have, I wouldn't really endure all of those challenges, even at work. We do have a lot of stresses, not only in work, but a lot of things.
Sure.
But you have to find the meaning of why you are going through all of those things, and why it is important for you to be able to undergo all of those things.
So that was your dominant.
That was my dominant experience, and it went from one company to another. It still has the same principle. It has the same experience, and I just have to settle down with myself and understand why I was there in the first place. So that was it.
What wisdom or tips can you share to someone on the verge of having this so-called job burnout?
Okay, so, well, tip number one, you have to learn what you love most. Because if you love a particular thing, then you like doing things that are related to that particular thing. And so what I mean by that is if you love teaching, you actually like a lot of things that are related to teaching people. And that also gives into the rewards that you're expecting that particular endeavor that you are in. Since I'm in the IT industry, I love doing things that would improve people's lives, and not only people's lives, but also the processes of any company or any firm, or even the challenges that we face that can be solved by ICT. So that's actually my passion is, and whatever efforts that we do, whether it's related to building a software or building a hardware, or making sure that you can challenge other people to join your cause, whatever it is, that is for that is stemming from that particular motivation. Is what I am at now. So number one is you really have to find what motivates you, and you have to determine what you actually love doing. And second, you have to find the value in whatever it is that you're doing, because not everything that you're doing actually is going to work out.
True.
And
work out the way that you plan,
yes.
right?
And secondly, not everything that you're doing is going to succeed.
True.
Perhaps it's going to fail. You're going to fail. I failed a lot of times, and I disappointed my bosses, my superiors a lot of times. I disappointed myself a lot of times, and so you have to understand that growth is uncomfortable.
True.
It's never easy
True.
for you to be able to grow, but it's necessary for you to be able to move forward and to grow as a professional, as a human being also. So you have to undergo all of those things. And so burning out is something, for me, it's something that you choose for yourself.
You decide for yourself.
You decide for yourself, because you have to find, again, you went inside that particular path, you chose that path for a very reason, and so at the end of it all, it was your choices that actually contributed
True.
to where you are right now. And so as a challenge for everybody, and the third tip is for you to be able to aside from determining what you love and finding the motivations, for you to be able to look into the bigger picture of it all. Where are you going? What are you trying to accomplish in the first place? Because if you have that vision, then whatever circumstances that you're in, if you are in the right path, you're still pushing forward, because you know that you are going to undergo all of these things, but at the end of it all, you will still reach your goal, because you're treading that same path. But if in cases wherein you're confused, you don't know what you want to do in life, you don't know whether you want to be a photographer, you don't know if you want to be a teacher, if you want to be a career person, if you want to be in marketing, you're not sure. So you cannot picture out where you're going, and whatever you're doing right now, it just frustrates you. And so you always get burned out, because you have not understood who you are as a person, and why you are shaped that way, why you are trained that way, why God has given you all the opportunities. I'm a Christian, and I believe that God has allowed all of these opportunities to be able to direct us towards a particular path that He has allowed us to do. So all of these things should not burn you out, but should be able to teach you that, while there are ups and downs, it's still the same path that you are treading. It's still the same goal. It's still the same objective. So that's what I take it.
Allow me to add on that. Correct me if I'm mistaken. Number one, I have 3 keys from what you just said. Number one is knowing your priorities. You prioritize what motivates you, right? And then second is purpose. You find the reason that why you're doing this, right? And then the third is planning ahead.
Yeah.
Your plans for the future,
Yeah.
long-term plans, what you are gearing towards, right? And then apart from that, what I understood from what you just said is that burnout or job burnout is something that's never external. Although there are factors contributing to it, but it always boils down to the decision that you make for yourself. Going back to the 3 keys that we have just recognized, right? So if you decide, if you know your priorities, your purpose, and your plans, whatever circumstances that come along the way, it would never be the burnout would always be the decision that you make for yourself, not from other people or from other situations that made you feel that way.
Yeah.
Right. I think job burnouts can also be attributed, amongst other things, to lack of ease in the job and lack of belief in the ability to complete tasks. You know, a sense of inefficacy. What's your take on that, sir?
Well, number one, it's never an issue when it comes to the inability to be able to accomplish tasks, because of course you will not be hired in the first place if you are not capable. Most of the applicants are screened in terms of being able to
The job roles.
get inside the company and be hired for that particular role. So in turn, of course, self-esteem is totally different from what the company views you as an asset or not. Because if the company sees you that you're indeed an asset, it doesn't matter how you view yourself. But I think the when you mentioned earlier about the lack of belief, it's more of self-view. I guess you have to
Work on that.
on that. I think if the company believes in you that you can do it, if your superiors believe in your capabilities, if the managers themselves or the middle people see that you have a very huge potential in terms of accomplishing the task, then what's stopping you and what's causing all of these burnouts is actually you in the first place. It's a view, it's a false view of who you are, and I believe that the company also has other ways of, like in the human resource department, they do a lot of activities to ensure that we can build the self-esteem of our employees, to make sure that they understand that they are an asset and not really a liability to the company. And this lack of I'm not sure if that's really a thing, because if you're not sure about, let's just say, the salary that you're in, why would you sign up? Why would you accept an offer in the first place? The offer actually stipulates there your salary. Why would you sign up in the first place? You've decided, you're aware, you took up the challenge, and then now it's now the part of the company, or if you're a teacher, part of the school, to be able to take care of you. And I'm sure there are a lot of ways to be able to take care of all of these things for employees and so on. So I don't think that that's really an issue, except if you really terribly view yourself that way. You gotta have issues, no? So I would suggest that you need to talk to somebody, or if already the company has devoted a lot of time encouraging you and giving you incentives, and still you're not able to do everything, I don't know. So you have to talk to somebody that may be greater than the company itself. I'm sure all companies are doing their best to be able to ensure that all their employees remain motivated, of high morale, and challenged at the same time.
I totally agree with you when you said that it's something that you have to decide for yourself. And we always go back to, I think, the can-do attitude, because of course, although the company believes that you can do this, and there are times that you would be given a task that's something new to you, so that's not your comfort zone. And again, you mentioned earlier that growth never, I'm not sure if you mentioned this.
Growth is never
from comfortable.
True. Yeah, but necessary for you to be able to move forward.
True.
So,
In other words, you can never get the growth that you need inside your comfort zone. It's
Yeah.
always outside.
of course,
Right.
of course. Now, that's a huge question right there. Do you want to grow or not?
True. True.
Because if you don't want to grow, if
That's
you want
where
to
job
stay,
burnout.
if you want to stay on your comfort
Comfort
zone, then you can never achieve that race that you are aiming for. You can never achieve that title that you want, that position that you're aiming for. Why? Because you are not pushing yourself outside your comfort zone and making sure that you experience other things, because these other things are required to handle those particular next level positions that you're trying to aim for. So let's put it immediately on the table. Do you want to grow or not? If you don't want to grow, if you want to remain on that particular level of yours, then that's your decision. And the company cannot do anything about it. We can only push to that particular limit. But if you decide, if the employee decides not to push himself, want to stay in that position, then the company can't do anything about it.
In other words, the burnout is something that you decide for yourself if you're up for the challenge. Because if this is new and this is uncomfortable, and you don't feel, or you don't feel that you're confident in doing that, then you feel stressed and then eventually burn out. So if you see it that way, if you view it that way, you would really feel the burnout. But again, if you decide that this is something for my personal and career development, for my career growth, then this is something that I have to take a part of, no matter how uncomfortable it is.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't feel stress, or maybe stress, but not that much to the point of, burning your, there's job burnout.
Yeah, I want to add something also. That was on the part of the employee.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to talk about the part of the role of the companies and the employers themselves. That if they see that there's a particular employee who wants to strive hard and make sure that he wants to push himself beyond his limits, then it should be the initiative of the employer to be able to look for ways to assist, to aid, to support, and to incentivize all of these efforts. Because I'll tell you this, it's rare to see employees actually pushing beyond what they can do. Most of the employees right now, they
settle for what
they would settle for an 8 to 5 effort, and then at the end of the day, go home or go to the mall, go to clubs. So they would want to just settle for that simple-minded, I am an employee, as long as I'm able to accomplish my task, that's it. As long as I'm getting paid, that's it. So that's very common, but rarely do you find people who would really want to push. There are also people who want to push, who has that idea, I want to push, but can never really push, because once they experience some form of uncomfortable area, they would draw back and they would go back to their comfort zone. And so and there are people who can really endure pushing beyond the limits. And so we would want to incentivize that. Again, that's from the perspective of the employers. Now, if employers do not do that, then that is something that can be discussed on a different setup.
Right.
Yeah. But just by discussing all of this in relation to job burnout, it's really the work of both parties. It's the employees and the employer who would want to do this tango so that they can achieve whatever it is that is given to them.
I agree. Thank you. In your opinion, what to look out for and to improve your relationship with work or workmates for that matter?
Just enjoy your work, number one. Enjoy the people that are with you. They might be of different personalities. They might be of different backgrounds. They might be of different perspectives than you. And not all people would want to agree with you on a lot of things, especially in a work setting. But they are there to help you grow. Because again, growth is where we are uncomfortable. So if you're not comfortable with working with that particular person, like wherever you are, in whatever department you are in, if you don't like working with that particular person on your left or on your right, that's okay, because they're there to ensure that you grow as a person, as a professional. Because if you cannot push yourself towards being a mature professional in itself, then you cannot have that accomplishment that you're seeking for, and the employer cannot reward you with all of those growth because you did not grow in the first place. So that's it.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think employees nowadays would think that, kung gusto ma-stress. So if they don't like the environment, if they feel toxic ang environment, they would just, resign or even AWOL, which is not good. But I think what's important is that you should be able to identify, again, what you said earlier, your purpose, your priorities, and your plans ahead. Because if you just draw back from from uncomfortable workmates, you will never grow. And plus, career-wise, you just keep hopping from one company to another without, staying and getting something out from one company for 5-10 years, something like that. How did USTP prepare you for the world of work, sir?
A lot of things have been taught to us. Even in high school, we're taught to be able to be thankful, be grateful to our teachers. All of these things come into play at the start when I got my job, because I had to admit I did not really placed in mind what I learned when I was still in elementary. Of course, all you think about is playing.
True.
And high school is when you come to think about things. And then college, of course, college is when you decide what you want to do. High school is when you're juggled up, when you're shaken, and it's a time wherein teachers work best, because I think the teachers are, especially in USTP, teachers are teaching us not only subjects but also how we value things, how we make sure that we try our best to be able to accomplish according to what has been taught to us, and we try also to be grateful towards those who have imparted a lot. So I think that's one of the things that I've learned. And also the classmates. I have a lot of classmates who have taught me a lot. Different personalities, different challenges, but ultimately they've given me sort of like an image that, okay, I can do these things, because some of my classmates think, okay, yes, Joe, you can do that. Yes, I can validate that you can do that. You're good in this. So during my elementary years, I don't care what my classmates would think. But during high school, that was the most impactful compliments that I got. And it carried me throughout college and post college as well. So I think there are plenty, but I cannot really. I don't know if we have the time to enumerate everything.
Actually, we have. But anyway, my take on that is that USTP prepared you holistically,
Yeah.
not just the academe, but in other aspects in life as well. Which is, we're very grateful. We're happy to hear about that. What career advice can you give to your fellow trailblazers tuning in right now, whether they are fellow alumni or students, on how they can thrive in the world of work?
There are a lot, but they just love your work.
The basic one.
The basic ones. It all comes down to the basics. Like you have to understand what you love, and then decide if you want to pursue what you love, and then of course then you do what you love. If you love to do IT things, pursue IT. If you want to do media, do media. If you want to be a marketing person, do marketing. If you want to be a teacher, you teach. And I believe that those are areas wherein we are most effective as a human person,
As an employee.
as an employee as well. But clearly not only as employee, because I don't see myself as an employee, but I see myself as a professional. So those are two different perspectives. If you just see yourself as an employee, you only run the tasks that are given to you. We accomplish the things that are expected of you. But as a professional, you do your best to accomplish all of those things with excellence.
True. You even upskill,
You
right?
even upscale. No, so you have to change your perspectives, but it all stems down to why you're doing it, and you've decided to choose that path, and then you're doing all of those things. Ako, just to tell you a little bit of background of myself.
Sure.
I was high school. I was addicted to family computers. I played a lot of Nintendo, Sega, and all the rest until one day I couldn't focus on my studies, and they had to. My mom had to buy me a PC so that she can keep me inside the house, because I had to. Because during that time there was no there were no internet cafes.
Sure.
There was only arcades, and arcade
In Ororama.
Yeah. And in Ginketkay.
Yes.
Those were very tempting for me. So my mom had to buy me a PC. So I started out with a 386, 486, and slowly I became I became obsessed with how all of these things were working. The software, I learned my operating system in MS-DOS 6.0. Started out handling computers at that early age. I was bought, and so that it became my obsession until I graduated from high school and went to college. Looked for IT related, but unfortunately the university at that time did not offer any IT. It was just ECE. So I thought, okay, I'll take up ECE. What's actually near the IT. But during that time, I got frustrated because I could not meet the entire syllabus did not also meet my expectations. So I had to shift, and so I had to move to another school. But the point is that all of these things, the happenings from elementary, high school, college, they all come to play. They all came to play to a point that built me who I am right now. So I guess if you just trace back the things that has shaped you,
True.
you might want to See, because again, from my own perspective, uh, all things that you've encountered so far in your life, from the very moment you were born up until now, they have a purpose for shaping who you are. And so if you just sit down, evaluate, meditate, and think about your past, what has shaped you. If you were pushed in several occasions as a student to lead people, ikaw group leader, there are a lot of things that push you. And if you are pushed in those directions because they saw something in you, which of course should validate who you are. If you are a leader right now, if you're a manager right now, should be able to validate you. And that is something that you should be thinking about. So think about who your past experiences, and that should be able to build you up. You should be able to draw a conclusion later on and what you should be doing.
So it's never an excuse that you're a fresh graduate, you don't have experience yet.
I in my current company right now, I've employed, I think, 3 from USTP. They're all fresh grads. And I saw a lot of potential in there. In fact, they're doing well right now. And they're coming from the CPE and the IT departments. I think CPE is Comeng, if I'm not mistaken. And they're doing well. Because, and when I interviewed them, why do you love coding? Why do you love doing this? It's because they would always say it's because I like it.
It has been part
of their system. It has been part of their system, and they love the challenge. So we're looking for people like that. We're not looking for, I tell you, employers are not looking for people who would just want to fill in the gap in their weekdays. We're looking for people who can be an asset to the company, who can push the company forward, because that then we can decide whether we can incentivize the person, or we can promote that person, or we can even give that person a stake in the company. We do not know. So these are things that the employers are actually looking for, not really somebody who just want to meet a particular time of the day just to do tasks at the same time. And mind you, later on, once AI comes in, all of those basic tasks will be delivered by the AI. So we are looking for people who are upskilled in terms of thinking, analysis. So you have to decide if you want to be that person, if you want to be instructor, if you want to be a businessman. You have to decide and then make the most. So I guess I've spoken too much already.
No, I don't think so. I think what you're trying to say, sir, is if you want to stay relevant in the company or in the position that you are supposed to do, you have to upskill and you have to give more than what is expected of you. Because if you can only do the things that were expected from you, then, like you said, if AI comes in, you would then irrelevant in doing all of those.
That's true.
Sir Ron, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming here and for sharing your corporate experiences and your knowledge. I've learned a lot myself from you. But before you go, I want to ask you a question.
See.
Would you like to take a challenge?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was just about to say a no is not an option.
Let's try.
This game is adopted from the Jimmy Fallon Show, and we call it the Whisper Challenge. This is how it works. I have cards prepared by the organizers, and these are the cards They prepared 5 cards here. I don't know what's in here myself. And here in the card are random phrases. So one person picks up the card and wears the headphones with loud music on, and the other person whispers the phrase. Does it make sense? Can I win? Please. Let's start.
Okay. May the force be with you.
Again.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Pikachu, I choose you.
Pikachu, I choose you.
Yes! You're good, you're good.
I'm addicted to you. I'm addicted to you.
I'm addicted to you. It's like a box of chocolates. Life is like a box of chocolates.
Life is like a box of chocolate.
Yes! Don't be. If I get that, you will sing.
Oh. Hasta la vista, baby. Hasta la vista, baby. Hasta la vista, baby. Hasta la vista, baby. Hasta la vista, baby.
Ah!
I win!
Okay, so napildigid ko no. If you could take my place in singing, sir, please. Everyone.
We had the right love at the wrong time. I guess I always knew inside I wouldn't have you for a long time. Those dreams of yours are shining on distant shores, and if they're calling you away, I have no right to make you stay. But somewhere down the road, the roads are gonna cross again. It doesn't really matter when, but somewhere down the road, I know that heart of yours will come to see that you belong with me.
Wow, grabe! Thank you so much again, Sir Bong. That was really nice. Stay tuned, mga ka-trailblazers. When we return, we'll be talking to another alumnus as he shares to us his success story. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a jiffy.
In 2014, the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, then known as the Mindanao University of Science and Technology, was chosen by USAID Stride to be one of the handpicked universities in the country to pioneer the development of career centers under its guidance and mentorship. Over the years, Stride has been productive and successful in its mission and has partnered with over 27 pioneer universities, colleges, and campuses in different parts of the country. These career centers provide essential support and professional development to more than 222,000 Filipino college students annually. As the USAID Stride project formally closes this year, the USTP community gives honor to the organization for its overwhelming support in helping the university attain its vision to be a nationally recognized science and technology university providing the vital link between education and the economy by producing career-ready graduates with the right knowledge, skills, and mindsets ready to face the dynamic world of work.
As an academic institution, we understand that part of the role is to prepare the students to the world of work. Now, we thank USAID Stride for partnering with us in establishing the Career Center in the university.
The journey with the USAID Stride Career Center program started 2014 when Dr. Jeffrey Milligan, the consultant from Florida State University, visited us, and he was floating the idea of establishing a career center here in our university. Came back with Dr. Jeff Garis. Dr. Jeff Garis was the former director of Career Center in Florida State University and Penn State University. So Dr. Garis presented to us the program, the whole program of Career Center and the services. The opportunity to travel to the US and to really experience firsthand the services of the Career Center. What really a Career Center is was really noteworthy, and it was also inspiring and at the same time challenging. If we're going to have these programs and services in the US and we're going to bring it in the Philippines, it will really give a lot of impact to the society, to the community. When we really talk about Career Center, it's really about career development, total career development for the students. Career development involves career decision, and it also involves career opportunities, and at the same time, linkages with industry. When we create programs for the students, we also have to take into consideration that our students will really decide for their career goal, for their career path, and at the same time give them an opportunity for them to discover if this is the right career for me. Give them an opportunity to link with different industries or companies, or give them an opportunity to discover that they can be an entrepreneur.
Career Center helped me to put myself out there career-wise. I remembered attending their event, the career networking event last December, and we had a mock interview. We had a interview with the hiring managers, so that was really fun and also insightful as a potential job seeker. So we really had so much to learn for that event.
Career Center really helped me to discover myself even more. I have been involved into their various fun and purposeful activities such as seminars, workshops, webinars, and trainings where I got to assess myself even more. There was an unprecedented moment happen, which is the start of COVID-19 pandemic, because knowing that our OJT or that our internship program will be done online, so it was a huge question as to what are we going to do and such. But Career Center helped us to, or they strive their best to help us secure internship opportunities, as well as help us start with the basics and oriented us the work ethics, how to increase our effectivity and productivity in the workspace online, and also improve our interpersonal skills at the same time. They did not just give us the opportunity to network ourselves to the future industries that they have partnered, as well as molded us, inspired us, and strengthened us to transition confidently by creating a dynamic space through the process of skill preparedness and self-discovery.
Professional development has always been a part of our mission, and fortunately USTP's Career Center has been a partner with that mission. And the USTP Career Center has created programs that helps to solve this mismatch in the industry and the academe. These programs include career readiness programs. They also have on-the-job training. We even have faculty immersions and other programs that give students and even educators exposure to the IT industry.
The company has long been a partner of USTP Career Center. We were able to deploy a number of engineering and technology-related course graduates. With the help of the Career Center, we were able to reach out to the school's students and alumni more effectively and efficiently.
I think we, in a sense, the corporation contributed into bridging the perceived gap by being actively involved in designing of the curriculum in terms of being able to employ who were studying in the school, no? Particularly USTP. So in general, I think we were able to do our share. I'm actually very excited that it has come to this already, this point, wherein both academe and industry are now partners and are now working together, especially during this time when we have a pandemic. And then we now have to change directions again in order for us to adapt into the situation we are in.
Actually, I could say that the Career Center has been with me all the way. So back in 2014, when the university was still organizing the Career Center, I happened to be one of the student representatives to share to the Career Center about my dreams and the dream career I'd like to have. So in 2015, I happened to land my internship at a world-class company in Cavite, still because of another event that was facilitated by the Career Center. I graduated in 2016, and although I was preparing for the board exam, I also participated in the job fair organized by the Career Center, and it actually helped me prepare my resumes and prepare myself in facing job career interviews. We live in a very competitive world. I think that opportunities favor those who are prepared. We have to be prepared academically, we have to be prepared socially, mentally, and most of all, spiritually. For those preparations, Career Center can be a good partner for us to jumpstart our career.
I can think of two important lessons that Career Center has taught me. First is to be confident in yourself and to believe in yourself and all the capabilities that you have done. Because after immersing to different activities that the Career Centers have held during my college days, I have realized that I am really into this career path that I am taking, which is the telecommunications world. And I can tell you that in this vast world, there will be a certain institution or a company that is really in need of your passion and your profession.
And it was a very great experience because we were able to experience firsthand how it feels to be interviewed by different companies. And I think that is a very wonderful experience, especially for us, and we were still graduating students at that time.
I am thankful to the Career Center for allowing me to realize these values, that is to persevere and to be grateful. For these values molded me to become a better teacher here in the United States.
There's a lot that the Career Center is providing, but specifically, I would say that what helped me a lot is about the personal development side of things. Now, as an entrepreneur, my job is to make sure I empower other people and find a way on how I can create an environment for my team to find a better version of themselves.
The USTP continues and expands its services through its career centers. We wanted that all of our campuses will have these career centers. This administration has pursued the expansion already last year from CDO to its other campuses in the USTP system. So with the guidance of the USAID Stride, USTP Career Center was awarded last year.
If you are working with people who have the same goal, who have the same passion, and they're really committed, I think your programs will become sustainable.
As the USTP System President, I would like to therefore extend the university's heartfelt gratitude to the USAID Stride for having confidence in the USTP's capabilities in terms of conducting and implementing initiatives in the fields of science, technology, research, and innovation.
Thank you, Career Centers.
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 Thank you, Career Center.
Thank you, Career Centers.
Thank you, Career Center, and thank you, USAID.
Thank you, Career Center, and thank you, USAID.
The Career Services and Government Industry Community Relations Office of the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines System commits to continue the good works spearheaded by the USAID Stride by focusing on the goal to address the country's issue on jobs mismatch, as well as supporting each trailblazer in realizing their career goals. Thank you, Career Center. Thank you, USAID.
Welcome back to Alumni Talks. Before we introduce our second guest speaker for tonight, let's do some icebreaker. We call this game You Got It Right. To explain to you the mechanics of the game, here's Mr. Jason Flores.
Hello Trailblazers, my name is Jason Flores, your game master. Tonight, we will play You Got It Right. And here's the mechanics of the game. You'll be given 20 seconds to guess the year of a certain USTP milestone. Don't worry, I will be giving you 3 clues to help you guess the right answer. Again, you will be given 20 seconds to key in your answers, and all you have to do is to guess what the year of a certain USTP milestone. Again, I'll be giving you 3 clues to help you guess the right answer. Alright, viewers, Trailblazers, are you ready? Let's begin. Here's the question. What year was DMMMPSC or Don Mariano Marcos Memorial Polytechnic State College founded? Comment in your guesses in the comment section. Those who will get the year right will win a 100 peso loan card. Wow! For our first clue, not later than 1990. You have 20 seconds to key in your guesses. Here's a trivia for you. Did you know that through Presidential Decree number 1431, MSAT or Mindanao School of Arts and Trades converted into Don Mariano Marcos Memorial Polytechnic State College? And you have a minute to key in your answer. Here's the second clue. Not later than 1980. Alright, so the first clue was not later than 1990. And now the second clue is not later than 1980. Again, you just keep your comments coming. Don't worry guys, we will choose 10 participants to win a 100 peso load card. And here's our third clue, and this is our final clue, hoping you will get the right answer. It's between 1975 to 1980. Another trivia for you. Did you know that after a year, DMMPSC has expanded with 6 satellite campuses established in strategic places in northern Mindanao, namely Alubihid, Medina, Initaw, Mambahaw, Tangub, and Panoon. Alright, I hope everyone guessed the year right. Winners will be announced on our USTP Career Center Facebook page, so don't forget to follow and like us on Facebook to be updated on the winners for this game and also for our upcoming events. Okay, did someone get the right answer? And the answer is... it is 1978. Wow! That's it mga ka-Trailblazers. I hope you enjoyed the game tonight and learned something new from our trivias. Thank you so much for watching and see you next episode for The Year Got It Right. Back to you, Miss Grace.
Thank you, Jason. Our second guest for tonight is currently the Regional Director of National Economic Development Authority here in Region 10. Please help me welcome Director Myla Faye Aurora Carino Seso 3. Hi, Ma'am Myla. Kamusta po?
Hello, good evening, and maayong gabi sa tanan nga tigpaminaw o tigsunod aning atong Alumni Talks program.
It is my pleasure to have you as our alumni guest tonight. Before we get to our chikahan for this evening, let's have some icebreakers. I heard you were a big fan of K-drama.
I discovered K-drama during the pandemic, but I don't really have too much time to watch K-drama because of the heavy workload. And so I rely on my friends to curate the program that I should watch.
Let's try this game. We call this game Guess the K-drama Title. Let's give it a try.
Sige, but I might fail. Sige, okay.
So this is how it works. We'll be flashing on the screen a combination of emojis, and these emojis represent a K-drama title. You just have to guess what that is. Okay, tech team? May dalawang worlds.
Crash Landing on You.
Let's see. Oh, Two Worlds.
Ah, Two Worlds. Hindi ko kabaluan na. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. Kasi I'm not really a K-drama expert.
How about this one po? May dalawang fairies.
Strong woman something. You know, I have not seen this K-drama. As I've said, I only watch what is recommended. Strong, I don't know.
Something like that. Strong.
Strong theory.
Keyword is strong. Let's see.
So, bagsak na gito ani. Weightlifting fairy. Okay. Kim Bok-chun. Okay. My doctor recommended this to me, but I have not yet seen this. What is this? Is this Dr. Mante? Oh, Descendants of the Sun. I've seen this. Song Hye Kyo and Song Joong Ki. Yeah, I have not really watched that many K-dramas. I think since the pandemic, I think I've only watched like maybe 7.
That's a good number. That's a big number.
2 years? 2 years? I don't think so. 2 years.
But they're series, right? So, okay na din po. Not just movie. Okay, so why don't we start our chikahan tonight by sharing with us the batch you graduated in high school and what was the name of the university back then?
I actually graduated from high school in 1988. And the school back then is known as Don Mariano Marcos Memorial Polytechnic State College.
What was your fondest memory here in the institution?
I think the time that we have our shops, at the time we call it shops, no? So food trades, industrial arts, fisheries, sewing, so garments. So those were some of my fondest memories. And I think another is the intramurals, because it's a state college-wide activity. And of course, walay klase. Mananaw og games, that's mine. And then another, I think, is baha. Pag mag-ulan in baha, walay klase, but at the same time, after sa baha, manglipyo, manglimas.
Makeup class dayon.
Class dayon.
Can you walk us through your, thank you for sharing, by the way, can you walk us through your career experience from the time, from your first ever job experience up until your current position?
Oh, I'm actually a teacher, no? I graduated with a degree, Bachelor of Science in Physics for teachers as a DOST scholar. So I taught for 5 years. I taught physics and chemistry, and I taught for 5 years, as I've mentioned. And then somebody invited me to join government. Actually, one of the parents of my students invited me to join governments, and then the rest is history. So basically, that's it. So I started working for the local government unit of Misamis Oriental, and then I joined Popcom. Still, mura siya og mga invitations. No? So, while I was in the LG of Misamis Oriental, I joined a national training. And I must have impressed someone there during the training because that person invited me to join Popcom in central office. So, I joined Popcom in central office. While there, I handled a UNFPA project called PopDev Planning at the local level, where I got to work with NEDA regional directors from across the country. And again, I must have made a good impression on one of the directors because the director invited me to apply in NEDA Regional Office 7, which is based in Cebu. And I joined NEDA there. I spent 5 years in NEDA Regional Office Cebu. And then I was invited to join PACCOM Regional Office 10. I applied and joined as head of the Technical Services Division. But while working in PACCOM as head of Technical Services Division, in 2011, there was Philippine Development Plan Caravan here in Region 10, and I was one of those asked to assist in the social sector related chapter. And my former bosses in NEDA saw me, and then they asked me if I would want to return to NEDA, and so I applied, and the position was Assistant Regional Director. I was able to return to NEDA, and I was assigned as Assistant Regional Director in NEDA Regional Office Caraga, where I stayed for 7 years. Now, after working as ARD from 2012 to 2013, I was promoted as Regional Director. And I transferred here reassigned here in Northern Mindanao in January of 2019.
Amazing. You have had so much on your plate, ma'am, and I was just amazed listening to you. That's all I can say for now. But I'd like to know if the course that you graduated in college was aligned, or was there any point that it is aligned to your current position now? Or at some point, if they are not aligned totally, maybe at some points you got something from your course in college with the position you're holding now?
As I've mentioned, I graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Physics for teachers. No? So, well, it's different from the work that I'm doing in NEDA. NEDA, as we all know, is National Economic and Development Authority. But my master's degree is in demography, which also deals with economics. But the rigorous training that I got in physics, including my background in math and science, has amply prepared me for the work that we do here in NEDA, and including training or discipline on critical thinking and logical thinking, which I badly need in NEDA. That has been ingrained in my training in physics. But critical thinking, critical analysis is something that we should all have as a competency or as a capacity.
I agree.
Doesn't matter what field you're in or the kind of work that you do. Very important for us to have critical thinking and critical analysis.
I agree with that totally. Like I mentioned earlier, you have had so much on your plate, and I was really amazed listening to you. You've been in the academe and then shifted to public service while being so active in different civic and professional organizations, while also, if I may add, garnering a lot of leadership recognition from innumerable partners and stakeholders. How to be you po? Is there any secret? Maybe some vitamins we could take in? Just kidding. How did you maneuver all these?
Very basic is giving your best all the time. Be it a small task or a big task. You have to give your best all the time because your work speaks for you.
True.
Your work is actually your own press release. No? So give your best all the time, anytime, small task or big task. Secondly, walk the proverbial extra mile. Giving your best also means giving more than what is expected.
Sure.
Of course, basic nang you have to meet the expectations of your stakeholders, but at the same time, it's not only meeting kasi meeting their expectations is, to me, just the minimum. Meeting the expectations is just the minimum. If it's a grade, it's just 75.
Right.
So you have to exceed their expectations to the point that you delight them. So that's why you have to walk the proverbial extra mile, or mas maayo gani na extra miles. And then also aim for completed staff work. Completed staff work means you've done the background work. You have, for example, if you're asked to write something, a policy analysis, you've done your research. not
Due
only related
diligence.
to the particular topic, but you've also researched on what were the past legislations or past issuances relating to that particular topic. I mean, meaning you have to know everything that has to be known about that particular aspect. So completed staff work. And I think the basic question to be asked, no, if you've done completed staff work, is this: if it's a paper that you've written, you should ask yourself, if I am the head of office, would I already sign this? Would I already approve this? If from your perspective, it's still not something that would merit the approval, then go back to the drawing board, so to speak.
Don't settle for less, in other words, right?
I mean, you owe it to yourself to give your best, but more importantly, you owe it to the client that you serve, the best service that you can give them.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Would like to know, what was the turning point in your career that made you decide to shift from academe to government? I know that you mentioned earlier that you were invited by one of the parents, was it, of your student? Was that the turning point, or was there something else that made you decide to shift your career?
I just like to make it clear, no, that I actually love teaching. Teaching is actually very challenging, and teaching actually keeps you young, because your students do not really get old. Like for example, if I taught high school physics, so the next year it would still be high school physics. So while ni-graduate na to sila, ang musulod nga mga estudyante batan-on man gihapon, so they really keep you young, no? And of course they can ask the darnest questions. And so you have to prepare yourself. So as a teacher, you always have to be on your toes. You have to be ahead of the game. So make no mistake, I love teaching. No, but I guess that turning point was that invitation from a parent, and actually that parent was also an alumnus of USTP. And he challenged me to join government, in particular to join LGU of Misamis Oriental. But I guess I'm also influenced, no, by the examples of my parents. Both my father and my mother were public servants, and I saw how dedicated they were to their work, and I saw the impacts, or the positive impacts or effects of their work, and so they were also my inspiration.
Thank you for sharing. What's your principle in maintaining work-life balance? Where do you stand on that?
Well, work-life balance is a daily challenge and a daily aspiration. There are days when you really spend more time at work than at home. So, technically speaking, there's really no balance. I mean, some days you can spend more time at home, but some days really work can just be very demanding. I think the challenge is integration, that you're able to integrate work in your personal life and personal life into your work life. And I think the challenge is also about the quality of time spent. Like when I'm home, I see to it that I'm really home.
Yes.
When I say I'm really home, is that my mind is not elsewhere, but my mind is at home with my children, the hubby, and my mom is staying with us. So my mind is at home. I think the challenge is mindfulness and being in the moment, being present. Because I think that's the challenge of our modern world. No? Too much multitasking.
True.
We can be doing so many things at the same time, but when we're at home, our loved ones deserve our presence, our actual presence. Because I always say, our presence counts more than our presence.
True.
The gifts that we give to them, and so because of the demand of work, sometimes I spend more time at work, but I see to it that when I'm at home, when I'm with them, when I take pocket vacations with them, I'm with them 100%.
I'm totally agreeing on you with you on that, because I'm also a mother of two, and especially for modern nanays like us, we are by nature multitasker. So even if we are at home and we know for a fact that we need to spend our time with our kids and with our family, but because we know there's something else to do at work, it's challenging. I agree with you when you said it's very challenging because you just can't help it. It's our nature. We want to excel at so many things, and we want to prove to everyone that we can do all things at best at the same time.
I think it's very important to share at least one meal with the family. In our case, it's usually dinner.
Dinner, yes.
No, we have different schedules in the morning, so it's usually dinner. Very important for us to share a meal, and during mealtime, gadgets are off limits so that you can just enjoy each other's company.
True.
As my mother always tells me, no, values are caught, not taught. So it's during meal times that our children actually know what we hold dear or important in life. And it's during meal times when we share about work or about current events that our children learn from us, and at the same time we also learn from our children. So I think it's very important that we at least have one meal shared with our family.
True. I agree with you. We also do that. We also eat dinner together, not breakfast. My husband is not a morning person, and my kids, they wake up very late, especially during my pandemic. So we just eat together during dinner. And I agree with you when you said it's very important. High engagement or being over-engaged with your job can lead you to feel constant need to overwork and be involved with projects like what Mamaila and I were discussing earlier. This leads to stressful situations and emotional exhaustion. While being highly engaged is a good thing, it can also lead to high job stress and burnout. Mamaila, was there ever a time that you felt burned out at work? Or is it something that you think it's all in the mind?
I think it's very important that you love what you're doing. That's very basic for teaching. And now that I'm with NEDA, I love the work that we do here in NEDA, and even the work that we do in PopCom. No? Very important that we love what we do. That's very basic. Because, talking from personal experience, because I love what I do, I find fulfillment in the work that I do. Whether as a teacher or as a public servant in PopCom and in NEDA. And of course, I've already come to accept, embrace. I think this is very important. We should embrace the fact that there will be days when our work will demand so much from us.
Sure.
It's not every day naman, no? That work will demand so much from us. And so we just have to embrace that. And as a public servant, I always keep reminding myself that in the end, who do I serve? It's really our people. And our people are actually our employers. Now, yes, there are times when there's too much work, when there's too much on my plate, especially during the pandemic. During the pandemic, work here in NEDA evolved. More work came for all of us. But then in the end, klaro sa ako, unsa akong priority, no? Unsa ang I know that the work that we do here, ang iyang impact dili lang sa amo, pero ang iyang impact sa atong katawhan. And I count myself very fortunate that during the pandemic, I have work, and that is work in the government. So siguro basic lang na, no. I think question good. Do you love what you're doing? That's a basic question that you should ask yourself. Do you love what you're doing? Do you find fulfillment in what you're doing? Do you wake up excited knowing that you're going to work? Kasi ang akong tambag ana, kung pagmata nimo sa buntag, nagluya ka na daan, kay murag di ka ganahan sa imong trabaho, then maybe it's time for you to consider another work or another agency or another office. Okay, kung dili ka excited nga mo trabaho, you do not look forward to going to the office or to USTP or wherever that is that you're working. I'm definitely certain that your productivity would dip.
True. And in turn, you would always feel that you're stressed, right? Because you're not really happy with what you're doing.
Yes. Very basic yun nang nalipay ka sa imong trabaho, you find fulfillment in what you're doing. Not only fulfillment, but you also find meaning in what you're doing.
If I may borrow from someone, I forgot the name, but I've read it somewhere where he says, find a job that you love and you won't have to work a day in your life. So it's something that you have shared to us earlier, that if you really love what you're doing, you find meaning and you find purpose. And maybe you feel tired, stressed sometimes, but not really every day, because not every day that our work would demand, something, demand more than what is from the usual.
I think it's also a matter of attitude or perspective. Kasi kung pirmi ka maghuna-huna o problema o kalisod, that's going to be the perspective that you're going to take for the rest of the day. No, but as I've said, if you think that the challenges are there to make your life more meaningful, and then you embrace it, I think it makes the work a bit easier.
I think also if your work is demanding more from you from the usual, I think it's also an avenue for you to grow. Personal and career development as well, right? Because if you're just stuck in doing something that you've been doing every day, there's just no opportunity for you to grow and to get better.
Oh, well, yeah, and then of course you can always innovate, you can always improve the way you do things. I always tell my staff that yes, while the machine is running well, we should not be complacent. We should always look for opportunities to further improve the way we do things. Now we can take a look at the process. We can take a look at how we engage our stakeholders, because there's always room for improvement, and any opportunity for innovation should be grabbed, because it's not only good for us, but it's also good for our stakeholders. Yes, it's important that we work hard, true, but I think it's also more important to be smart in doing our work. Because when we're smarter, we expend less energy and less time in doing our work.
I agree. Work smarter, not harder. Would you agree that one possible cause of burnout is extremes of activity? By extremes of activity, I mean when the job is monotonous or chaotic. Did this ever happen to you?
To me, there is no boring work. It's really a matter of perspective and attitude, no? Our perspective, our attitude towards work. As I've mentioned, you can always innovate, no, and you can always improve on the way you do things. I don't find work boring, although at times the work is kind of routine, because sometimes I have to read voluminous materials, no, in the work that I do, but in reading I learn many things, and it's one thing that I would also want to impress, especially on my children, that we shouldn't stop learning. We should aim to learn something new every day, because you know what, knowledge piles up every day. There are new knowledge discovered, there's new information, and if we don't strive to learn, musamot kadaghan ang atong wala nahibalaan, di ba? So, and maybe I think it's also good, no, sa isa ka opisina, that you rotate people, so that people don't grow into their own comfort zones. It's good to rattle sometimes also. For example, it's also good because daghan ka og skills ka matun-an. Like for example, in the office, pwede mag-good nga mag-rotate for maybe 1 or 2 years mo nimo assignment nga division, then the next division dito na pud ka, then the next division, because you acquire skills, you learn the nuances of your job. If you rotate, no, mupod na siya nga sa NEDA, among regional directors, we don't stay in one region. No, we are rotated. Although painful man ang movements, no, painful man ang transitions, painful manang reassignment, but it's necessary for growth. It's necessary for growth because if you get transferred, then you meet new people, you learn new perspectives, and you are challenged to give your best in that kind of context of a new assignment. So I think it's a matter of attitude and perspective as well. So una man good akong daddy, only boring people get bored. I mean, you can always find something new or exciting bisan pag nagbalik-balik na ang imong trabaho. Like for example, for teaching, no? The challenge was dapat, because I thought that's just one example. No? I taught physics sa Xavier, so I handled the honors class and then 3 general section physics, and then I handled two sections of chemistry. I always see to it that I don't give the same example gani because students can always compare sabi ingon ni ma'am sa imo dinhi ana. And I want to keep them guessing, I suppose. So I always try to give different examples, and then during exams I prepare 3 separate sets para di magkinopyahay ABC bisan pag-asa siya maglingi-lingi dihi sila pareha og exam. So lisod siya sa pag-check. Dili po sa yun ang pag-prepare, but I think that's important. It makes the learning process more profound, I guess.
True. And on your part as a teacher, it also makes your work very dynamic at some point because it's not routine anymore. You keep on thinking of something else that would excite you and the students as well. Ma'am Myla, maybe not clinically, but professionally speaking, what wisdom or tips can you share to someone while on the verge of job burnout? I know that you mentioned earlier about attitude and perspective. Apart from those, any other tips that you can share to our live viewers for tonight?
One really is always aim for self-improvement. It's not only because you want promotion, but it's also a form of self-actualization and self-fulfillment. Improve. Aim for self-improvement. I mean, you can do that by going back to school or attend trainings, not only for professional improvement, but as well as personal improvement. Engage in activities outside new hobby, and if you want to be good at it. Also, of course, have a life outside of work. Have a set of friends that you can really rely on. Your circle of friends does not have to be a very big circle. It can be small, but these are friends who will stick with you through thick and thin. So I guess that's it. Aim for self-improvement, because as my mother used to say, when you actually improve, you build on what you have, you're actually preparing yourself to accept more blessings. I think very important is to have a prayer life. I think that's one thing that I'm not saying that I'm religious or overly religious, but very important to have a prayer life, and always also to have a reflection moment.
True.
I think it's very important. Like every evening before going to sleep, if we can just go through what happened throughout the day and check the moments where we were not our best self, and probably reflect on that. And because it's really possible, especially in my kind of work, that what I say, what I do impacts not only on myself and my family, but it also impacts on other people. That's why really very important for us to be mindful all the time. Mindful and deliberate. Deliberate in words, deliberate in our actions. Because everything has a ripple effect or a repercussion. What you say, what you do, and even what you do not say and what you do not do, they have ripple effects. So very important, mindfulness, great deliberation, and then kindness and compassion. And I think it's also important to take a break from work. from time to time. That's why it's very important for us to take vacations. Vacations do not have to be long vacations. They can be pocket vacations. It can just be an afternoon of break, a day of break, or a weekend of break with family. That's very important so that you're able to collect yourself. And I think it's also very important to attend retreats from time to time. And kanang training bitaw nga dili ng webinar nga nag-webinar lagi ka karon pero naa ka sa work or abri diha ang kuan. Kuna importante nga as I've said that when you attend something you are 100% present. So kana siguro vacations, take a break, take vacations. And it can be a training, a vacation can be a training as well. Kana siguro, and then have a prayer life.
I like what you said when you mentioned earlier that it's important to take or to reflect on a daily basis, because I think the most important conversation that you can have in a day is the conversation with yourself, because that's the time that you can assess your actions, your decisions in life, and that would determine whether you've done good or you need to get better or something like that. And also on when you mentioned earlier about taking vacations, they don't have to be fancy, something that would take you off your mind from work. And also when you mentioned earlier about maybe joining webinars, trainings, I think if I could add on that, I think it's also better I think it's also good if a person can take or join webinars or trainings out of their interests, not really because of utilitarian purposes, like they just go there because they were required, out of interest.
I agree.
Mamila, last question. How did USTP prepare you for the world of work? Back in high school, was there any values?
Yeah, you know what? Mayon tag nabalik ni sa USTP katong sa high school nga curriculum, where aside from academic na program, naami practical, very important for us to have what we call life skills. And I learned many of life skills in USTP in Don Mariano. Like for example, sa first year namo gi-rotate gud ni ana every quarter. Kaya murag taas ang among klase. We start at 7:30 and then we end I think at 5 p.m. When I was teaching in Xavier, ang klase sa mga bata ends at 3. So kami sa Don Mariano up to 5 kay naa man shop. Pero din habang sa shop kay you learn many things. You learn how to interact with your classmates, you learn how to work as a team. Kinaman mo yung mga group projects, then you have individual projects, and you learn to innovate, you learn to substitute, because some of the things that you would require are not readily available, So I remember metalworks, industrial education, industrial arts, we have cooking, we have sewing, and then katunang pag third year nanay major, so I majored in food trade. So they would teach you like food preservation, cake decoration, and I remembered nga katong sa high school pa mi, ang among junior seniors from, kung junior ka na naa ka sa food trades, kamo ang magluto para sa tibuok. So I mean, you would learn ka ng pag-budget, kana ing ana kana mang good. That's what I like about my education sa USTP na high school, because it was holistic.
True. And
it made well-rounded individuals from among its graduates. Really. So I missed that, and I was telling them na sana mabalik siya kay kana man good when you teach children life skills, na kabalo sila magluto, kabalo sila mag-ayo sa ilang mga sakyanan, kabalo sila mag-ayom-ayom, mag-troubleshoot anang mga equipment, that would serve them well, because that served me well
True.
And I thank Don Mariano for that. Truly grateful, and industry, even drawing na aday mi drawing. So kanahon, it's something that I don't really like when I was in high school, katong drawing, but it served me well, no? Makadraw kag perspective. I mean, hindi siya mawala.
Tinood. I think when you mentioned earlier about life skills, we can also think that when they were teaching you in high school about life skills, you were also getting something, not just life skills, but also other type of skills that would be beneficial for you, or maybe for anyone who took their high school in Don Mariano before, in their career. Like life skills can be compared to maybe let's say, if not analytical, they would get critical thinking skills out of that. And when you mentioned about drawing kanina, not really drawing, but out of that activity, maybe they got their creativity skills got into play at those times. That's about it, mga ka-trailblazers. I hope you enjoyed and learned many things about job burnout and what to look for and how to improve your relationship with work, and of course about employment in general. Ma'am Myla, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It is such an honor to have you on Alumni Talks, and it was such a pleasure talking to you. I had so much fun and I learned so many things from you. I am pretty sure our live viewers too.
Thank you as well for the invitation. Anything for my alma mater.
Thank you po. Thank you everyone who tuned in with us this evening, to our dear alumni trailblazers, to the students and faculty who tuned in with us as well, and most especially to our alumni guests for tonight, Ms. Myla and Sir Bong, to the whole Career Center team, and to everyone who made this evening session successful. This has been your host, Grace Raha, and it was such a lovely chikahan with you guys. Join us again next time for another episode of Alumni Talks, your success stories, our legacy. Good night! Please help me welcome Dr. Gina Rani Marquez, Mr. Thor Torecha.
It is scary for a lot of people, but it's just a matter of showing up and still believing in yourself.
If a person thinks that the work defines him or her, should that person then be defined by just one thing when you can actually be more than that?
The world of business, it's very crazy. There's always someone better than you, richer than you, more prepared than you.
Don't be afraid of being different.